The Babylonians were fascinated by the night sky. They observed the movements of the stars and planets with great care. To them, these celestial bodies were the gods and goddesses who controlled the world. The Babylonians believed that the movements of the celestial bodies were messages from these deities. This is how astrology was born. They believed that the positions of the planets and stars at the time of a person's birth could influence their life. Babylonian astrology was very complex. It involved careful observation and interpretation of the heavens. By understanding the movements of the heavens, they could better understand the will of the gods and live their lives in accordance with it. The Babylonians believed that the sky was like a giant clay tablet. The movements of the planets and stars were like cuneiform signs inscribed upon it. Just as a skilled scribe could decipher cuneiform writing, so too could a skilled astrologer interpret the movements of the celestial bodies. The positions of the planets at the time of a person's birth were considered especially significant. For example, if a child was born when Mars, the planet of war, was rising in the sky, it was believed that the child would grow up to be a brave and strong warrior. The Babylonians also used astrology to make predictions about the future. By carefully observing and interpreting these events, Babylonian astrologers could advise their kings and their people on matters of war and peace, agriculture, and even love and marriage. The Babylonians identified 7 main celestial bodies that they believed were particularly influential in human affairs. These were the Sun, the Moon, and the 5 visible planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Each of these celestial bodies was associated with a specific deity and a particular sphere of influence. Shamash, the sun god, was the god of justice, truth, and light. Sin, the moon god, was associated with wisdom, knowledge, and measurement. Nergal, the fiery red planet Mars, was associated with war, disease, and disaster. Nivu, the swift messenger Mercury, was the god of communication, travel, and commerce. Marduk, the majestic Jupiter, was the king of the gods and was associated with good fortune, abundance, and kingship. Ishtar, the brilliant Venus, was the goddess of love, beauty, fertility, but also of war and conflict. Nineve, the distant Saturn, was associated with time, fate, and the cycles of life and death. He was a mysterious and somewhat ominous deity who was often feared. The Babylonians believed that the movements of these celestial deities across the sky were not random. They were thought to be reflections of the deities' activities and interactions with one another. For example, if Mars, the planet of war, appeared to be moving aggressively towards Jupiter, the king of the gods, this could be interpreted as a sign of impending conflict or upheaval in the kingdom. Conversely, if Venus, the goddess of love, and Jupiter, the bringer of good fortune, were seen to be drawing close together in the sky, this could be seen as a positive omen. It required a skilled and experienced astrologer to decipher these messages accurately. The task of interpreting the messages of the heavens fell to a select group of priests known as the writers of the tablets of Anu, Enlil, and Ea. These priests were highly respected members of Babylonian society. They were entrusted with the sacred knowledge of the heavens, and their pronouncements carried great weight. The priests spent years studying the movements of the celestial bodies and learning to interpret their meaning. They recorded their observations and interpretations on clay tablets, many of which have survived to this day. The knowledge of it was considered to be both powerful and dangerous. The secrets of Babylonian astrology were not easily obtained. They were passed down from generation to generation within priestly families, often through apprenticeships that lasted many years. Today, we are fortunate to have access to the clay tablets and inscriptions that have survived from ancient Babylonia. By studying their writings, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity, the spirituality, and the enduring fascination with the cosmos that characterized this remarkable civilization.